Hello, Alan. Welcome to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. I don't know if you remember this one, but I had wanted to buy this one for a while, but I was having an issue buying it because it's actually an Xbox game. But I never played it, and I really wanted to play this because in the mobile game that I play, the main enemies from this game are part of it, and they're like really awesome in the mobile game I play. And in general, I think Knights of the Old Republic is some of the best Star Wars content that's ever been like created in terms of a game. The story is like, sorry, there's a bug trying to attack me. The game is like a lot narrative based and like exploration, not in the sense of find stuff, but exploration in the sense of go around and talk to different NPCs and like figure out how to solve issues and problems. And you can figure things out in a light side way or a dark side way. Dark side is typically easier in some ways because usually it's just like kill this person and get their keys as opposed to like, oh, you want my stuff, like why don't you do me a favor type thing. And dark side powers are also generally more powerful, whereas light side is more difficult because you have to do more, and most light side powers are more like buffs instead of attacks. So it's just fun. And I really enjoyed Kotor 1, and now I'm hopping into Kotor 2 because I finally was able to buy it. And so the goal with this playthrough is to, I realize I'm talking over the holotape now, but I can't erase all this audio. So my goal is to basically record the clips, and I'll try to record, because I can only do 10 minutes at a time, like 4 to 5 clips, like kind of back to back, and then voice over anything afterwards. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. We started out in a Kolto tank. A Kolto in this game is like Bacta essentially, and we started in a Kolto tank, and we don't know anything. I've never actually played this game, so I legitimately do not know anything. And so we kind of woke up here and just kind of started playing.
Find what you're looking for amongst the dead? Yes, I had hoped as much. I slept here too long and could not awaken. It may be I reached out unconsciously, and your mind must have been a willing one. Or perhaps you have been... Close to death. Yes, closer than I'd like. You have the smell of the Kolto tank about you. I am Kreia, and I am your rescuer, as you are mine. Your ship was attacked. You were the only survivor. Your stance, your walk tells me you are a Jedi. So it would seem. Keep your past. I do not know. I was removed from the events of the world as I slept. The ship we arrived in must still be in this place. We should recover it. We were attacked once, and I fear our attackers will not give up the hunt so easily. Without You may wish to extend your search to some clothes, if only... I do not know. Indeed, a Jedi trance could protect one from such poisons. In fact, the sedatives may have been intended to keep you... It would prove lethal to those untrained in such techniques, however. And so do you. Perhaps we could discuss it at length later. I have found that answers come in their own time, not ours. Turn your energy to the... I leave you to the explorations of this place.
Emergency lockdown is in effect. Turbolifts have been sealed to contain.
So a lot of this first bit in the beginning is like sort of tutorial stuff and just figuring things out. But we pretty quickly kind of get into the real game, as it were. Some nice feature. This game was like lauded and people loved it. It was criticized for being a little too similar, but so far I've really enjoyed the game. They've updated some mechanics and things that weren't present in Kotor 1. Like, you'll see me do it here and there, but there's a switch weapon button that wasn't present, and so like I can hop over to the plasma torch and bash a door open, stuff like that. Over on the far right of my attack screen right there that I'm scrolling through, there's different stance options that you had to go into the menu to change manually, as opposed to like just in the heat of battle. And that'll just kind of dictate people in your party who you're not directly controlling and how they'll act. So a lot of nice quality of life updates and changes, and we basically woke up and are going through this station to kind of figure out what's going on. And we'll meet some people along the way, and we will try to figure out what's going on, and hopefully we'll find some clothes. You might have noticed I'm playing as a woman, a nice blonde with a bun. The reason I'm a woman in this story is because canonically, whatever that word is, in the canon of this game, the player character is a female. So we're with a female. And one thing that's cool about this game that is completely different from Kotor 1 is you actually start as a Jedi in this game. Whereas in Kotor 1, you are a Jedi, but you don't know it, but you don't start off with any Force powers. And so in this one, I've started as a Jedi, and I will like be able to get Force powers literally from the get-go. Whereas in the other game, you get them about 30% of the way through. Which it's been cool lately, like to be able to work on those Force powers early, and they've added some Force powers in the game. And I'm enjoying it so far. It's very good. And so yeah, if I see parts again, I'll do a little voiceover and kind of explain what's going on. But otherwise, I really hope you enjoy this video. I'm excited to go on this journey together.
thing on? Alright, the next one of you Juma heads to try and smuggle a blaster, or so help me, any sort of... Why? Because in case you forgot, Paragian fuel explodes at high temperatures. That's what blasted that chunk. So if I catch any of you with any... And according to one of the miners, it was because one of the sonic charges went off prematurely. And like before, it was one set by the three idiots were grouped so close to the charge it might as well have been a grenade going off. The blast turned their bones to dust. The blast wrecked the internal components of the droid that set the charge, though, so we can't even dissect it to see... I don't like what's going on here. Ever since that Jedi showed up, things are getting worse. It's not just... If we don't find what's causing this, or who, this facility's gonna... So, you're in maintenance. Then maybe you...
Sir, I don't know. It's like their behavior cores are undergoing binary decay, but I can't find the source. This shouldn't be happening.
Well, that's reassuring. It isn't happening. So the next time we nearly have a breach in the ventilator... You better give me some answers. I want to know the damage these droids can do if they start mining us instead of asteroid rock.
Sir, these droids aren't combat models. Their mining lasers are weaker and less accurate than blasters.
Are you blind? What about the miners in Medbay? It's sabotage, and it started right after the commander said we weren't... So I want you to find out how these droids are being sabotaged. That'll tell me who's trying to clear a path. In the meantime, make sure the security's armed with all the ion and sonic charges you can find. If those droids start coming after me, I'm gonna need more than low...
Yes, sir. Main...
Idiot. I secured the stealth field generator inside one of the footlockers in the security storage room. All I need to do is equip the belt, and some skill with stealth in order to use it. If any more droids start malfunctioning, the belt should buy me enough time to get to the override switch I set up in the communications. I'd rather shut them down than destroy them. I want to find out how these droids are being sabotaged. I installed an override switch to shut down any droids on this level, just in case someone locks me out of the administration console. As added insurance, I tied the override switch into the circuit to the holding cell door. I doubt Kotor or any of his men have the skill to pull off something like this, but whoever's responsible won't be able to have the droids rescue it.
This is the exit, but it is... Be careful. There is much energy in the room beyond, yet it stems from nothing that lives. Can you not sense them? Reach out, cast. Ah, you can feel them. The droids you cannot perceive.
So this is a good opportunity to explain combat mechanics in the game. All the combat is based off of essentially dice rolling. So how much damage you do, you'll have kind of a range that you can do in terms of damage, and you will essentially, the game will roll a dice, and whatever it rolls on, that's what you get. You have attack rolls, defense rolls, hit rolls, and you know the game obviously does all that. But that's how the combat works. It's all basically dice rolling, and as you get to like more significant enemies, you'll see. I'm sure I'll capture some, but you'll see that you'll start missing a lot, and essentially they've just given like a really high miss roll to those with those enemies, and that's sort of how they differentiate the combat. Because of that, they've put a lot of emphasis throughout the games to avoid combat, and so like you'll see in my playthrough probably that there'll be lots of situations where maybe there's a computer terminal that I can slice, and through that computer terminal I can overload a conduit and kill, all the enemies in a room, or I can disable all the droids in a facility, which I'm pretty sure I do in this first or second video. Or you can find droids that have been damaged, and you can use parts to repair them, and then send them on patrol and optimize their weaponry and stuff like that. So again, the game is like really heavily based on, I would say not avoiding combat, but like giving the player options beyond just like fight your way through such and such and such, which is why I think it's probably one of my favorite Star Wars RPGs.
Nice outfit. What, you miners change regulation uniforms while I've been in here? Security claimed I violated some trumped-up regulation or another. Take it up with them if you want. But they stopped listening to me shortly before they stopped feeding me. Now that's criminal. Atten Rand. Excuse me if I don't share. You mean before or after that Jedi showed up? Either way, you see, this Jedi shows up, and you know what that means. Where there's one Jedi, the Republic will soon be... But the story gets better. See, some of the miners get it into their ferrocrete skulls that since the Jedi's unconscious, they can collect the bounty the exchange has posted for live Jedi. Well, what passes for the law here didn't like that idea. So the two groups started fighting. Then there was some big explosion. I was sitting here for a long time. Then you showed up and you're... Don't know much about it. Maybe the exchange wants one as a trophy, or somebody's got some... Not many Jedi left. Wouldn't surprise me if... The ones that weren't killed in the Jedi Civil War ended up switching off the lightsabers long ago. Word is, there's not even a Jedi... Yeah, Revan, Malak, and the Jedi that went to join them in the Mandalorian Wars. They turned against the other Jedi and had a scrap that almost laid waste to the galaxy. Well, I wasn't there, but like all Sith, Revan and Malak turned on each other. I guess. There's rumors all over space about it. All I heard was Revan returned to pay Malak back for trying to kill her in the first place. You know women. Maybe you're right. Maybe I did. Look, not like your half-naked interrogation isn't a personal fantasy of mine, but... Hey, wait a minute. You're that Jedi the miners were talking about. Where is everybody? From my beautiful view in this security cage? Look, I heard some explosions, some emergency... Maybe none of them survived whatever happened. Look, hey, let me out and I can help you. This facility isn't a military installation, which means we may have a chance. You shut down this cell security field and I can reroute the emergency system so we can get to the hangars. We grab a ship and then we fly out of here. Huh? What are you Great. Now to business. Let's get to the command console. Alright, here we are. Now this console is set on automatic hail. The asteroid drift charts are constantly being updated, so it sends out a transmission to incoming vessels so they don't get crushed into space dust. The hail warns them to keep their distance until orbital drift charts are transmitted, and then provides docking instructions to incoming ships, usually freighters. Thing is, you can bounce that same transmission back to the comm here. Suddenly you've got access to the communication system from the inside. Pure pizzazz. The console's ours. Now, all we need to do is reactivate the turbo lifts, cancel the emergency lockdown. This system's been severed from the main hub, after it was locked down from remote. You can't even reroute the system, it's been cut clean. No, someone tried to lock down this whole level tight. I doubt it. All we have is communications back. We could try, but if the miners were trying to trap you up here and probably kill you, why not call them and chat? I don't think... Be my guest. Not much else.
A lot of cargo from the Jedi's freighter is being stored in the secure cargo hold until we can pass it through the quarantine checks. And as requested, all the programming spikes the security officers wanted confiscated have been stored there as well. To prevent, the secure cargo hold should be safe enough. If anybody wants to break into it, they'd have to blow it open with explosives. A lot of cargo from the Jedi's freighter, and as requested, the secure cargo hold should be... Who ordered the mining droids to repair that Jedi's freighter? I come in here off the work shift and 3 of them are repairing the port stabilizers? Did I miss something? Is somebody planning a trip? Because orders were that the hangar was to be locked down ever since that Jedi arrived. I don't know what maintenance is up to, but you can't just commission droids for repairs, especially with half the work shifts in medbay. Those droids are needed to repair the ventilation tunnels. It's not like that ship can go anywhere anyway. Even if it had the asteroid orbital drift charts, the Navicomputer's been void. Considering this latest droid commission breach, I'm putting the droids in this section. If anyone sends commands to the mining droids outside this terminal, I'll be forced to enact... Looks like those droids got the vessel working again, even with all the damage it had taken. The maintenance officer still won't admit ordering them to fix... Regardless, still no luck accessing the Navicomputer. It's been voice-locked. Maybe by one of the corpses we found on... If so, that ship isn't going anywhere, unless we rip out the Navicomputer and put in a new one. The only reason someone would lock their Navicomputer is to hide their astrogation charts. Someone didn't want us... Only smugglers do that. Or someone with something to hide.
Oh my goodness. Who could that be who's just attacked my droid?